Hola chiquetes, ¿cómo estáis? Bienvenidos a... Mira, qué bonito es tu juego. Bienvenidos de nuevo a... El juego de las estatuas que te... ¡Míralo! ¡Es que míralo! Me da mucho miedo. Vámonos a ayudar a esta señora. Queríamos hablar más con ella, puede ser. Hola. Forgotten City. Let's go.
Feeling all right?
Oh.
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I've just been filling in ever since she disappeared. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up.
Pero, ¿cómo has llegado hasta aquí?
My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked, and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here.
Siento oír eso.
It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband will never find me. And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden rule, they have to try to be discreet about it.
El fornicador de mi marido, me encanta. Es que, ¿por qué trabajas en un templo?
This shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I suppose praying to Apollo for healing kind of makes sense.
Vale, cuéntame más sobre Naevia.
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them.
Ojo.
And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed, and he's in constant pain.
¿Quién?
I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. And he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off, and I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out, and you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace.
Ok, me pondré a ello. Este priorizará la misión y mostrará solo los marcadores de objetivos relacionados.
Really? That would be wonderful. Thank you. Let me know how you go.
Encuentro un tratamiento para el reuma. Llega hasta Naevia. ¿Y podemos cambiar las...? No. ¿No? Porque... Uy, perdón. ¡Ay! ¡Ah! Que tenemos la linterna, en plan de... ¡Cojones! Que podemos cambiar... ¡Ay, por Dios! Mosaic Cocu. Dibujos... ¡Ay, mira qué chulo así! Blanco y negro. Vale, ya. Que podemos cambiar el filtro de golpe. Yo quería mirar a ver si teníamos un menú para seleccionar las misiones que tenemos. ¿Sabes? Ajá, triángulo. Gracias. Tenemos esto. Completada el quid pro quo y no me olvides. Y ahora tenemos los objetivos principales. Y tenemos, intenta convencer a Desio para que entregue la resina de Silfio. La vida cerrada, averigua cómo entrar en la villa Maggiolo. Otra forma de entrar en el palacio. Y un tratamiento para el reuma. Está interesante lo del palacio, ¿sabes? ¿Tienes algo más que comentar, colega?
May Apollo keep you safe.
Gracias. Es que, a ver, tardas mucho en levantarte, hija mía.
Feeling all right?
Porque, a ver, ¿sabes cómo salir aquí?
I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not the half-baked, hanging by a thread excuse for treatment I'm giving them. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best to treat you, but I'm out of my depth and dangerously short on everything you can imagine.
O sea, que es normal, está agobiada.
A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. Maybe it was an attempt to create some kind of utopia. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law into our own hands.
Ya. Sigo escuchando como estatuas.
Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There was one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking
Navy,
to her,
¿verdad?
but that was Nevia, and she went a little mad. Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a
Ya,
physician.
esto ya lo hemos comentado, sí.
But I read one of
Ya, sí, continúa.
he's become so irritable. I just
Vale, veré qué puedo hacer.
thanks, I suppose.
Y podemos hablar de Julia.
Sure. What do you want to know?
¿Crees que la envenenaron o lo hizo ella misma?
Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it.
A ver, es que es una doble encrucijada, porque también indicó el señor este, no me acuerdo cómo se llamaba. El Senio, no me acuerdo cómo se llamaba. Pero que indicó que también, a ver, contaba asesinar y el suicidio también contaba como pecado, como tal, ¿no? O sea, como ilegal.
Hemlock, I believe.
Cicuta. Vale. ¿Algún motivo por el que ella pudiera haber querido morir?
I haven't seen her in months. She's not allowed to leave Malleolas' villa, and they are quite secretive.
Correcto, vamos a hablar de otra cosa.
Gladly.
Ya está, tengo que irme.
Well, come back.
Me
if you
gusta
get sick
agotar
or
los
injured.
diálogos, hija.
Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Y... vamos para allá. Vale, podemos... Hay más... Hay mucha peña, tío. Por aquí. Ah, es este el hijo de puta este, ¿no? Hogaza de pan. Una hogaza de pan circular, diseñada, cortada en porciones. Parece que está disponible para cualquiera que la quiera. ¿Lo puedo escoger? Una llega, ¿vale? Tenemos inventario. En el... Denario. La piedra y la hogaza de pan. Molino. Molino de piedra, parece que la harina y el grano se vierten por arriba y se muelen con las piedras que se mueven con estas manivelas. Es un molino de piedra, de toda la vida. Secundus y Citera estuvieron juntos hasta el final. Había otra pintada por ahí. Esta... Espérate. Radok. Míralo. Es muy turbio. Va, venga, vamos a hablar con el señor este. Ahí hay algo. El telar.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings, ay. Mamma mía.
Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
Soy más allá de los confines del mundo conocido.
Then you are an explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to share. I cannot wait to hear them. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
¿Cuál es tu historia?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
¿Por qué montas una sastrería en este lugar?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
Sí, más o menos.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Supongo.
Oh, and there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
¿Cómo has llegado hasta aquí?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Ah, muy bien. ¿Por qué no lo recuerdas?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
Entonces bajaste flotando por el Tíber.
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Vamos a ver otra cosa.
Anything you like.
¿Cómo salir de aquí?
Shh! Not so loud. What are you playing at?
¿He dicho algo malo? ¿Es verdad o sí?
Have you not been told about the last attempt?
No. No, cuenta.
Then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
¿Por qué no me lo cuentas? Venga.
Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Puedo hacerlo.
I admire your enthusiasm, my friend, but please allow me to explain why this is inadvisable. There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say, it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Vale, gracias. ¿Qué opinas de la regla de oro?
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
¿Por qué dices eso?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The golden rule has merely brought it into focus.
¿Qué podemos hacer?
If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing."
Parece fácil.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
Lo he visto, lo sé, he visto pasar estas cosas.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the golden rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
¿A quién vas a votar?
That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
¿Puedo hacer algo para cambiarlo?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
Vale, venga, hasta luego.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
My friend. Bueno, vamos a hablar con el señor. Bueno, a ver qué es esto también. ¡Oh, un herrero!
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important.
Vamos a hablar con el señor. Hola.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth a fortune.
Momento. El ladrón obvio me ha robado la cartera y yo, quien quiera que haya escrito esto, no tuvo la oportunidad de terminar la frase.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Julia, but we just have to carry on, don't we?
Necesito un poco de resina de silfio.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
¿Cómo voy a conseguir 1000 denarios?
That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
Estás especulando con el precio de las medicinas, pero ¿a ti qué te pasa?
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it.
¿Has oído eso?
Hear what?
Ese susurro.
You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands.
¿Qué le ha pasado a Naivia?
She claimed the statue was whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not?
No tengo esa cantidad de dinero.
Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget?
Roba la asesina de Silfio del puesto de Desio. Pero es que no puedo robar.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price.
¿Y si te lo robo?
Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want?
¿Eso es lo que quieres? Si no, entrégamelo ya. No lo sabes, me lo voy a jugar.
Don't you dare.
¿Dónde está el puesto, tío? Es que el susurro me dice que la coja. Claro, y esto es para que veamos el... Bueno, pues lo empezamos de nuevo, espera. Un frasco de resina. Un remedio muy valioso en el antiguo rama roja.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Siga el magistrado hasta el santuario. Fue por aquí, espérate. Hola, amigo. Tercus. ¿Murió? Estoy obligado a hacer esto entonces. Empezamos el loop. Clara Lucrecia antes de que la muera.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Me llamo Yaquito y ya hemos tenido esta conversación antes.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Tu nombre es Galerio, estás a punto de ofrecerme llegar a Sencio para que hable de la regla de oro.
Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No pasa nada, me tengo que ir.
Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
¿Qué me das? ¿Qué es eso? Manillar de tirolina. ¡Oh!
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself.
Quiero
But
probarlo.
don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
Gracias, tengo que irme.
All right. See you around.
Quiero probarlo. Vale, entonces, espera un momento. Inventario. Lo que pillamos en la... En las otras visiones, lo conservamos. Ok. No. ¿Y este? Ha desaparecido. Ah, está aquí. Vale, vale. No, porque también tengo el pan, ¿no? Sí. Entonces le podemos robar el dinero también. Pero reiniciamos el loop.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cubulates decius won't give it to me.
Tengo resina de silfio. Toma, aquí tienes un poco.
What? Quick, give it here. Yulia, Yulia, you need to swallow this. Here, let me help you.
Da la resina de silfio a Yulia. Yulia.
Hopefully, in a moment, she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? And at this exact moment? Are you some kind of oracle?
Hemos completado esta misión. Le voy a decir que... He viajado en el tiempo.
A what? I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. I think it's your accent, because it sounded like you said time traveler. But whatever kind of traveler you are, that was like the gods hearing my prayers and intervening. You just saved a person's life,
Hey!
and you should be proud of yourself.
Save Julia.
She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need.
Vale, pero por ahora no.
That's a shame. Thanks again for saving Yulia's life. Apollo smiles upon you.
O sea, contigo, hija, ya... ¡Dios! ¡Julia!
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying to help me, I suppose.
Intentar
Was there
ayudarme,
something
¿eh?
you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
¿Te puedo preguntar qué te ha pasado?
As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk about it. Please, no more questions.
No, cuéntame. Quiero saber cómo es posible que alguien te haya envenenado sin romper la regla de oro.
The golden rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be cruel, but Malleolus and Claudia are far crueler.
¿Te envenenaron con eso?
Please, just leave me
Ah,
alone.
por favor.
I don't want to talk about it.
No te puedo ayudar si no me dices qué ha pasado.
Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you? I can tell you, but it's a long saga.
No importa, tengo todo el tiempo del mundo.
All right. I'd been here about a week when it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest of my life. I could hardly breathe, and I knew I had to get out somehow. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done anything. And then I learned her asking price. 1,000 denarii. She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much. So she suggested I take out a loan from Malleolus. And I did.
¿Por qué te iba a dejar tanto dinero? ¿Pensabas que te habrías ido de aquí antes de tener que pagar la deuda?
I'm not proud of it, but yes, I was surprised he agreed to it, to be honest. But I was so happy to have the money I didn't question it. I had to sign an agreement saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. But I figured I'd be out of here so soon it wouldn't matter. I paid Aurelia, and she gave me her so-called way out. Do you want to know what it was? Hemlock. Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes, and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning.
Eso sin duda habría incumplido la regla del oro.
That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the golden rule. And I couldn't be responsible for all those deaths, so he locked me in his villa, confiscated everything I owned as collateral, and made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked, day in, day out. His wife, Claudia, was just as bad. She sent me to work on an endless stream of futile, demeaning tasks. I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours, only for her to pour slop on it and hiss, "You missed a spot." Those two took everything from me. But they forgot to confiscate one thing. My hemlock.
Ya veo.
I just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up too. Should have drunk all of it.
Siento oír eso.
I brought it
No
on
le vas a
myself.
echar la culpa, tío. Está
I
llena de mierda la
trusted
pobre
one of the
tía.
most callous human beings I've ever met, and tried to swindle the other. I don't know how I could have been so stupid.
¿Y qué va a pasar ahora?
When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa, and I'll be right back where I started. Only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been allowed to run its course.
Lo siento, ¿te puedo ayudar en algo?
I doubt it. It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me, for trying to escape. At least until someone breaks the golden rule. Huh. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Tengo una idea mejor. ¿Cuánto costaría comprar tu libertad?
A lot. But it doesn't matter. I made a suicide pact with Ulpius last night.
¿Mm?
He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month after they did it to me. He and I are in this together. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus's villa by now.
Joder.
If so, I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him.
Averigua cómo evitar que Ulpío se quite la vida. Tal vez yo también puedo ayudarle.
I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to help me, but... thank you.
Me pondré a ello. Dale, 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 dale. Hay que intentar... ¡Qué susto,
May
Lucrecia!
Apollo keep you safe.
Joder, estáis todos enfadados. Desde ahí arriba. Claro, pero tengo que subir, ¿no?
Ove.
Hola, ¿quién eres? Luego hablo contigo. Claro, pero tengo que subir.
Fresh meat, huh?
No me vas a dejar pasar, ¿verdad? No creo. Podría trepar por aquí si ellos pudieran con mi peso. Si ellos. Colega, ¿me vas a dejar pasar? No, ¿verdad?
Hey, Horatius. How's it feel knowing your man's doomed to lose the election today?
If you're trying to goad me into an argument, it won't work. I'm a stoic, remember?
If the old man couldn't even keep his own daughter safe, how can anyone trust him to keep us safe, eh?
Why do I get the feeling you lot had something to do with Centilla's disappearance?
That's it. Blame everyone but yourself.
If I find out you did something to that poor sweet girl, not even the Golden Rule is gonna protect you. Got it?
As if I'll be afraid of you, little man.
¿Tiene algo esto aquí? Aviso, no entres en el aljibe. Ver a Domicio para más detalles. Vale, ya lo hemos visto. Tarro de tinta, de cerámica. La tinta parece estar hecha de hollín y agua. Tarro de tinta. Pequeño santuario en la casa, en el que los hermanos estaban de tierra para tener protección. No vamos a robar nada por ahora. Pero lo más seguro es que vaya a empezar a robar cosas, yo. Escucha con sus oídos, dice. No puedo pasar por aquí agachado, ¿no? Bueno. Tú...
Fresh meat, huh?
Ya he hablado contigo.
You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
A ver. Sé lo de tu criatura, no te preocupes por mí.
Without a weapon? Well, it's your...
Ya. ¿Entramos?
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment. Yeah? What have you got for me?
¿Qué quieres?
Dunno. Something good.
Vale.
If you set one foot in that villa without permission, I'll skin you alive, you pusillas cemitarius.
Ya, relaja. Pues vamos a entrar aquí a ver qué pasa. Me da miedito. Es un... Estatua desconchada, chaval. Me voy. Está cargando, ¿eh? Colega. O sea...
Osinculio mio.
¿No me dices otra cosa?
Osinculio mio.
Ah, bueno. ¿Y si sigo hacia adelante? ¿Crees que podré escapar de este señor? A ver, espérate. Mira, coño. ¡Míralo! Ya, tío, ¿yo qué quieres que haga? Está la grima, ¿eh? Mira, coño. ¿Me puedo tirar? Ahí. No sé lo que he cogido, pero algo he cogido, ¿eh? ¡Coño, qué susto! Una criatura demacrada, bla, no sé lo que ponía. Quita, coño. Otro. Dame. Sí, corre súper gracioso. Bueno, vámonos de aquí, anda. ¿Viene por ahí? Ya. Un momento. Tenemos 17 denarios. Flecha emplumada, manillar de tirolina. Bueno. ¿Esto es algo para mí? No, ¿verdad? ¿Tú tienes algo para mí? No, ¿verdad?
Let me die. It hurts. You
Uy, colgante.
help me,
Ya.
please.
Y si pudiera lo hacía, tío, pero no puedo, ¿sabes? O sea... Oh. Oh. Estatuas. La mujer romana está quitando la túnica. ¿Qué ponía? Como si fuera a visitar los baños. Nada, alguien horriendo. Buen romano. Cosa como si encontrase a otros en un lugar seguro. Joven romano salta los muros con su preciso enemigo invisible. Loco, O sea, yo tendría que subir por aquí. Si pesara poco. Pero no peso específicamente poco. Curioso. Colega. He salido de ahí.
Osin Coolio mio.
Y no me...
Osin Coolio mio.
No sé qué significa eso. No me queme. Venga, a ver, pues vamos a hacer otra cosa. La villa cerrada. Tendré que dar rienda suelta a la imaginación si quiero entrar. Vamos a ver qué le ha pasado a este, ¿no? Espera, que si no, crea una paradoja. Este es sencillo, claro. Averigua quién es más probable que rompa la maldición. Sí, tío. Pero no a seguirla, claro. Y con Sergio...
Whatever are you wearing?
Ah, contigo puedo volver a hablar, es verdad.
Oh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
¿Qué opinas de la regla de oro?
You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing god who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent god would let my sister go missing on his or her watch?
Buena pregunta.
Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought.
Eso ha sido muy imprudente.
I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving.
Es real sin alguna duda, ¿eh?
Oh, and I suppose I'll just have to take the word of a know-nothing barbarian who just arrived, will I?
Tengo que irme.
I trust you can see yourself out.
A ver, vamos a hablar con el señor. ¡Uy, qué susto! Magistrado.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
¿Me quito esta conversación?
Yeah? Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the golden rule, forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here? I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over. Is that about right? If so, what happened?
A ver. Le voy a decir la verdad, lo he roto yo.
You broke it. Why in Pluto's name would you do that?
Intentaba salvarle la vida a alguien.
Well, it seems you failed spectacularly. Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered and do better next time. Now, I assume you sought me out again for a reason.
¿Podemos hablar de quién va a incumplir la Tierra de Oro?
Of course. What is it?
Creo que sé quién es. Vamos a decir uno, tío, no sé. Es... Yo no creo que sea Tesio, pero bueno. Domicio.
Why do you say that?
Ha estado intentando intimidar a la gente para que vote a Maleolo. Ha estado pidiendo sobornos para permitir que la gente hable con Maleolo.
So I'm told. But while that is distasteful, asking for tributes is not uncommon, so I don't think it's going to break the golden rule.
Ajá.
It looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Sí.
Of course. What is it? Yes? Why do you say that?
Ahora el otro.
So I'm told. This is truly atrocious behavior, which undermines the very foundations of our democracy. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, but before we proceed, I must ask, are you sure he's the one?
Yo voy a decir que sí, es él.
In that case, as much as it pains me to do so, I must act decisively to ensure the survival of my people. As magistrate, I hereby declare him an enemy of Rome and authorize his execution by your hand.
¿Por mí? ¿Cómo quieres que lo ejecute? Eso no incluye... Espérate.
I don't believe so, no. It's not a crime to carry out the lawful order of a magistrate.
Me parece bien.
Any way you can. Despite my weapons ban, it's been my experience one can always find a weapon if one looks hard enough.
Vale.
Thank you. Please act quickly before it's too late.
Es muy bueno, pero bueno, ya sé que no es él, ¿sabes? Pero bueno, a ver. En tus aposentos hay un arco, dices, ¿no? No, este no. Where? Una lumbre romana hecha de bronce o las cenizas. Cocinar una ventilación pobre, sin duda desagradable. Sin embargo, seguramente los romanos consideran que ese problema es de los sirvientes. Y al pequeño que contiene un perfume casero hecho para flores. Escultura de Hades, dios griego de la guerra, conocido como Marte. Una jarra de latón con una especie de polvo para maquillarse. Diario de esencia. Resumen. Esencia cree que todo el mundo tiene derechos a sus secretos. A ver, espera. Escribe diario. Hoy mi padre me ha sugerido que escriba un diario, así que para así estar ocupada mientras todos afrontamos la repentina devastadora desaparición de mi hermana. Como hija dirigente, tengo que complacerle. Las siguientes páginas contienen mis secretos más íntimos. Sé que estás leyendo esto, padre. Ser joven no es sinónimo de estupidez. Todos tenemos derecho a tener secretos. Esencia. Está bien. Espejo de latón. Espejo reventario para maquillarse. ¿Aquí qué hay? Poco dinero, no es worth. Pero... Jarra de tinta. Jarra de tinta. Ah, este es de sencilla, vale. ¿Y los aposentos de él? ¿Dónde están tus putos aposentos, tío? O sea, no me ha dado nada, ¿no? Tengo flechas, no arcos. ¿Dónde coño me has dejado el arco? Que no me he enterado bien. A ver. Señor.
We'll speak again after you've carried out my order.
Ya, pero ¿dónde coño está tu arco, tío? A ver, espérate. Buscarlo bien. Este es de la señora. Este tal. Debe ser el no, este es la cocina. Entiendo entonces que sus aposentos están aquí arriba. Pero Yago está ciego y no vio el arco. ¿Verdad? Y te lo juro, esto es... Me he equivocado. Ya, muy bien. No tengo ni idea de dónde está. Oye, me dan ganas de buscarlo simplemente solo por eso. No puedo andar. Ahora sí.
Keep an eye out for Centilla, would you?
Y...
Citizen,
¿Qué tal?
O sin Coolio mio.
Pues no. Va, dame un momento, porque yo estoy rayadísimo, tío. O sea, a ver. Voy a poner arco. ¿Cómo conseguir el arco? Es una tontería, seguro. el arco no se encuentra aquí. No está ahí. El único arco está en otra parte de la ciudad. Vamos con otro trama entonces, a ver. Ah, claro. Lo tiene. Este tampoco. Claro. Ajá. Consigue un arco. Bueno, no hemos investigado nada aún, así que estamos a tiempo. He visto cómo gira la cabeza, ¿eh? Recuerda siempre que están observando. Teófilo organizó una orgía con 4 chicas y las decepcionó a todas por igual. Es mala suerte. Estos son los baños, ¿no? Algo con esponja. Uy. Pick up the sponge on a stick. En vez de papel higiénico usaban esto, vale. De uso comunitario. Será mejor dejarlo en su sitio inmediatamente. Dice que siempre están observando. Vale, me hace gracia que he encontrado los baños. Y justamente en el sitio este de lo del... el arco. Ponía que estaba cerca de los baños, pero creo que tengo que hacer otras cosas.
Help! You have to do something.
Esta no es...
A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
Enfrente del hombre armado que está entrando en la ciudad. Me pondré a ellos, sí.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
¿No crees que quizás no deberíamos reunirnos allí?
What? We don't have time for this. I have to go.
Da igual, no sé por qué lo he dicho.
The shrine is collapsing.
Se ha matado. No me habrá dado algo.
Oh God, she's dead. Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her. Oh, Fabian, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl.
A mí. El santuario se puede derrumbar en cualquier momento, lo ponía ahí. Muchos sufrirán por los pecados. Ah, vale, esto es lo de siempre. Y este es el asesino, ¿no?
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
No conozco a nadie que se llame Quincio.
I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
Entendido.
Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
¿Por qué no bajas el arco y vienes a verlo por ti mismo? A ver qué pasa.
Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your claws into me. I was told Quintius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
Un momento, ¿qué es una secta
Oh,
misteriosa?
don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quintius did, those days are numbered.
Llevamos ya una hora, es verdad. Te equivocas, no somos sectarios.
You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret?
Sigo buscando una salida, digo. Eso es... Digo, no lo mantenemos en secreto, estamos atrapados.
So you admit you're not allowed to leave?
No es que no nos dejen irnos, es que físicamente es imposible, no hay salida.
Threatening me is not going to help you. But in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you will believe?
No es ningún mantra, es una advertencia.
A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense.
Dios mío.
Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these...
Verás ahora qué vas a decir. Antes eran personas.
You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
Ha sido un dios. Estás tergiversando lo que he dicho, más o menos.
Yes, because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is. Do not waste it.
¿Qué me puedes contar sobre Quincio?
Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground
¿en serio?
and killed thousands in the process.
¿Cómo sabes que prendió fuego a Roma?
All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty and wants him dead. The details are not my concern. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not?
No sé ni dónde está.
Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
Jesucristo es idiota. Dijiste que no me mataría si te decía la verdad.
And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Vámonos. Ah, vale, el objetivo principal es ejecución fallido. Y no pasa nada. Es por aquí. ¡Ah! ¡Au! Me matan. ¿Y Julia? Uy, 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 uy. muero, ¿eh? ¡No! Vale, llegamos, llegamos. Y yo creo que... Oh, mira, qué bien. He tenido, bueno, 2 ciclos. Estoy recuperando poco a poco vida. Sí, recupera poco a poco vida. O sea que tenemos que intentar que la otra... El nivel está representado por otro circular. Vale. Sigue. Vale. Ya, esto ya está. Vale, entonces, ahora tendríamos que ir directamente a la Villa Cerrada, no. Descubre cómo neutralizar al hombre armado. Tenemos que indicar a la otra se esconde en la panadería. Pero... Bueno, chicos, guardar. Y nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Adiós. Está interesante, es que hay muchas cosas que hacer, eso me está volviendo loco ya. Es como... No sé, es diferente. Estaba pensando en Outer Wilds, pero es diferente, no tiene nada que ver, claro. Chao, chao.